This is a February update on my 112 gallon average reef. There hasn't been any drastic changes this month, but I have made a few minor changes. The other thing I'm having is an issue with one of my Kessel lights. I think it's just old. Hopefully I can get a few more months out of it, maybe even a few more years. One thing I have been doing is removing all of the asterina starfish, or at least most of them. I know in the past I've been their biggest offender, and they certainly do make a good addition to your cleanup crew. They're great for eating coralline algae and some other types, but they also do eat coral. This has probably been going on for a long time. It's just I have so many that even, let's say 3 to 5% of them are eating coral. That's enough to do some real damage. I think it boils down to more an individual specimen than a species eating coral. Let's say I have 10,000. If 5% of them are eating coral, that's enough to do some damage. I've actually filled a 50 milliliter cup up with them, and as you can see, there's still lots in the tank. Hopefully now the zoas and palys will start growing out better. That is, of course, if this chalice here doesn't grow over top of them, which it actually looks like it's starting to do. This guy's always been a great grower, and he's caught up to the other chalice here. There doesn't seem to be any issues with them touching when they're fully expanded. So I'm hoping the same will be true when this green one catches up with the other chalice. I've now had this blue lepto almost a year, and it's become one of my favorite pieces. It started out as a small frag, and it's almost completely encrusted this rock. I've got it growing on a plug at the back too, but I think I'm just going to let it grow right onto the glass. I can't really squeeze in another rock there, so I'd have to move it if I want to give it more space on a rock. The side view is still my favorite. You can see there's a couple of spots I could squeeze a few more corals, but generally the tank is pretty well filled in. I mentioned I may adjust the lighting in the future, but for now, this tank is pretty much done. I did squeeze in this little rhodactis mushroom here, and for whatever reason my flower anemone moved over here. I guess it wasn't getting enough light in its previous spot. This little hammer is sprouting babies, so it may take over more of this rock eventually. My grandies are looking especially grand. I don't know, the color on them seems to change a little bit from time to time. I've had them probably 10 years, and they haven't ever really looked better than they do now. I did finally get around to cutting some of this cabbage coral out. Yeah, I do have a big colony of dendrophilia behind there, deep in the rock. I hadn't seen them in a long time. One polyp did die, but probably 15 or 20 more grew since the last time I saw them. Now I can at least see them for a little while. I thought this was neat here, as Pocillopora has settled onto the return pipe. A lot of people complain about them spawning, but I think it's pretty cool to have coral spawn in your tank and pop up in weird spots. The toadstools continue to frag themselves out, and the clownfish is begging for attention as she's about to turn 13. That's about it for this month. Nothing drastic. Getting rid of the starfish should help, but it's not really going to change anything overnight. I'll probably turn my attention to my other tanks and just sit back and enjoy this one. Thanks for watching, and happy reefing.